Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Safa's Unscripted. Today it is just me and Casual Bias Rugby. Brett got stuck at rugby, unfortunately. Luckily, I made it back in time, so we are dedicated to make this podcast for you. But guys, listen, this channel is growing so bloody well, and we are so grateful for it. And we literally, if we could give back somehow, we would. And soon we're going to be able to. We'll do giveaways. We'll do that type of thing for sure. But until we can get there, let's try and make it a goal to get as many subscribers as possible to this channel. I know sometimes you disagree with us, sometimes you may not agree with what we say, but this is a channel for the fans, and we want you guys to interact with us as much as possible in the comments, subscribing, ring the bell for notifications. We are just shy of 800 subscribers, and we are hoping if you guys can get us to at least 820, 830 subscribers, that would be phenomenal, and we really, really appreciate the support. But done with the begging now. Casual, how are you doing? You ready for some predictions?
Yeah, I feel a bit nervous because I think most people will probably be looking at me a bit more, seeing that you've absolutely glitched out halfway through your your lovely little speech. But I mean, yeah, it was a horrible weekend. We had an absolute shocker. I think my predictions alone got about 50%, which is a total shambles. Most people will feel disgraced by it. I mean, how can we have an opinion but be so bad? So yeah, I'm going for the full house. I think this weekend we got it. I've got a couple of underdog decisions, but we're getting the full house. I back us.
Yeah, look, ladies and gents, I do apologize for my glitching this episode. For some reason, my Wi-Fi is not reacting the way it should. So you will be seeing a still frame of me majority of the time, and I do apologize. But Casual there will keep you entertained with some actions or dance moves or whatever he does. But let's get right into it. We're going to start off with, obviously, as you know, we are Safa's Unscripted. So we are going to start off with the South African teams. First up tomorrow, Scarlets take on the Sharks. Sharks being away, playing in Wales. And looking at the side, the Sharks have gone full strength. Obviously, just no Bongi due to injury/recovery, but the rest is pretty much full strength. What are your thoughts going into that game for the Sharks?
Well, to be fair, if you look at the previous game with the Sharks, they had a horror first half against Glasgow, but they had them defending. And as soon as the bigger names came on in the second half, they had a much better performance, much more stable. The attack was flowing a bit more. I can't see the Sharks struggling too much. I know Scarlets had a pretty handy lead against Edinburgh and just blew it. I think they had a 16-point lead or something like that. But the Sharks, they should get the victory. I think we said it at the start of the season, the performances has been picking up and then it dropped in, but then we never got the results. And now all of a sudden the performances are going over into getting results as well. So Sharks with a lovely little 16-point victory will do them nicely before they go on to the Challenge Cup.
Yeah, and I think it's crazy to say that this is basically a bottom of the table clash, especially considering the Sharks are involved in this game. Before the season, we would have never said this would have been a bottom of the table clash. But looking at the side that they've picked, like I said, strong as they can possibly go, I think they have to make a statement, get some form, build into the Challenge Cup. I saw a clip of Eben talking about how this Challenge Cup can fix in a nice way. He said a shit season. That this Challenge Cup can really, put some positivity.
Brevin, there's no need to beat around the bush. It's been a horrific season. It's been a thing of nightmares for them. The only positive they can take out of it is the Challenge Cup. So they have to put on full focus on the Challenge Cup. I would have played their strongest team last weekend as well, and then maybe played a rotated team this weekend. I know we spoke about it, but are you happy with them going full strength?
I am. I think at some point they're going to need to build some continuity. They're going to have to get some form going into these important games in the Challenge Cup. Because as we all know, that is their only hope of getting into the Champions Cup. If they win that, then they will automatically get put into the Champions Cup. So that is their only way at the moment. As we all know, they are definitely not going to make the playoffs. So, yeah, I can see the Sharks winning this one. And I'm going to say they're going to win it by about 12 or 13 points, just on the basis that I think this will be the start as where they start building continuity and form. So I'm going to go with a 12 to 13 point win. Anything else you want to add on them, or are you ready to move on to the
No.
next?
Let's get to the big boys of South Africa.
Okay. Any Sharks fans, that's banter. Just relax. Anyway.
It's not.
Anyways, my team Bulls taking on Ospreys, or Ospreys, sorry, bit of Afrikaans accent coming out there, my apologies, even though I'm not fully Afrikaans. The Bulls, look, they disappointed me heavily last weekend against Munster. Absolutely shocking performance, in my opinion. Also, Johan Goosen now out. That we haven't seen the team at this current moment in time because they only announce it tomorrow. But no Johan Goosen, he currently sits on a 6-week ban that can get reduced due to a good record and doing tackling school, the whole, that whole thing.
What's tackling
But
school is the stupidest thing that I've heard in my life. You know what the hell?
I mean, yeah. But anyways, got to do what you got to do. But I think the Bulls have to react, and I'm gonna back them yet again because that's what we do. But realistically, the Bulls will be disappointed in last week, and I think they'll make a statement performance come Saturday against the Ospreys. So I can see the Bulls winning this one by about 15 points. I think they will start off maybe a bit skittish or a bit nervous, but I think at the end of the day they'll get the job done. But what are your thoughts going into that game?
Bulls absolutely smashed the Ospreys. Okay, I'm not going to beat around the bush here. I think all the teams now, especially after last weekend, the South African teams probably realized, listen, their grandmas could only dream of knitting something as tight as this table. It is absolutely, it's nail
You've
biting.
been practicing that one for a while.
Yeah, okay. So the Bulls and the Ospreys both know it's massive games for them. We said the Bulls don't lose at Loftus. I was ranting on about it. And you know what they did? The next game they lose at fucking Loftus. I mean, sorry for swearing. I mean, it's one of those things. I was so annoyed by it. Okay. So I've got the Bulls to absolutely smash the Ospreys. I know the Ospreys had a brilliant performance against the Stormers. I'm not taking anything away from them. But they're not going to pull it out of the bag 2 times in a row, especially not against the Bulls that are also coming off a loss against Munster. I think the Bulls will be ready for this game. They won't. The thing about the Ospreys' performance against the Stormers, that will make the Bulls even more ready for them. Because the Ospreys kind of got written off by the Stormers, or it almost felt like that. But that's not going to happen with the Bulls because the Bulls literally saw what the Ospreys are capable of. So I'm thinking a thrashing victory, not by too much of a landslide, but I'm going with Bulls by at least 14 points in this game.
Okay, fair. I had 15, so I think we're on the same page there. But leaving that game, I think this next game, the next 2 games we're going to chat about, I think are the big ones, and that's me coming as a Bulls fan. The Lions take on Munster at Emirates Airline Park. It is a big game. I can't lie. It is a very, very big game. I'm going to hand over to you and let you talk about this game, and then I'll give my thoughts.
Well, yeah, both teams literally know they're unsafe. Munster obviously playing more for getting a home playoff game where the Lions are trying to get in. But if you look at the points gap from the Lions to the Stormers, even to Benetton, that is from 6th till 11th has got a 1 point difference in it. That is ridiculously close. Every single team still, until the Lions, can still get into that playoff position and still has a great chance of getting into home playoff games. So everything's still to play for. Munster know if they lose one time and they stay on 48 points, the Bulls most likely surpass them again, and then they are in danger of not getting that home playoff game again after one loss. Lions know if they win this game, they are into the playoff positions again. That is how big this is. The Lions can jump from 11th till 6th in one game, and then also all of a sudden, if they get some bonus point victories, be in contention for a home playoff game somehow. You see, it's such a tough call to make. I do believe Munster will win this game, even though the Lions are on great form at the moment, just because Munster travels so well. They know what's at stake at the moment, and it's a big team. It's rugby heritage for them to play in these big games, the games that matter, and get the results. So I'm going Munster, but not by much. I'm 5 points.
Yeah, I'm on a similar page. Yeah, I think the loss of Henku van Wyk, yet again, that's devastating, especially for all the South Africans who wanted to see him maybe play for the Boks this year. It's just not great to see such a talented player have these types of injuries. But he'll be a big miss, in my opinion. I also have Munster winning this game purely on the basis that they're a big game team, and like you say, they travel well, especially to South Africa. And they'll definitely go full strength against the Lions as well. They'll see what they did to a Leinster type of B team, C team, and they'll say we can't take these guys lightly. Yeah, I can see Munster winning this one by about 8 to 10 points, just purely because they have the experience. I mean, let's be real with you. Like, I mean, the players there, you got an Achia Snyman, you got a Peter O'Mahony, you got Conor Murray, you've got players, big game players that have been there and done it. So,
That's exactly.
yeah,
It was the big game players that really stepped up against the Bulls
the
as well.
Bulls.
So yeah,
Yeah, so I think that's going to happen again because Munster know what's at stake here. And obviously, this means something to the Lions. They'll definitely want to get into the playoff position, but I just think Munster are too strong for them at the moment. So I'm going to go with a Munster win there. But then we'll move on to the last SAFA game of the weekend. Also, one could possibly be game of the weekend as well. We don't know, so if any Leinster fans can educate us in this comment section. We have no idea what Leinster's squad is doing down there in Cape Town, whether they
I
are
saw in some comment sections that it might be an even weaker side. Like they sent a couple of
okay,
guys home as well. So I'm not
okay,
too sure. But the thing is, with after that Stormers performance and how up and down we've been this season, like this game still scares me a bit. I'm not gonna lie. Like on paper, we should win this game. We're playing at home against a not full strength Leinster team. But still somehow this game feels a bit weird. I've got like a little tingly feeling. Obviously, I'm gonna back my boys, the Stormers in this game. But that performance against Ospreys was shocking. Like I had no words to really describe it. Like I went on a massive rant about it in our review of last weekend, but I just hope that they kind of have that realization, as I just mentioned, where they realize how tight the table is and that every point has to be played for. If we can play this game like we finished against the Ospreys, because at the end of the day, or at the end of the game against the Ospreys, we looked a bit better. We just couldn't get over the try line. I think our try conversion from the entering opponent's 22 is something ridiculous. It's horrific. Like I literally want to bleach my eyes looking at that type of stat. So hopefully this time we can get over the line. Obviously, it's not the strongest Leinster team. Like I would expect us to win it, but I'm just like not. My confidence levels are not that high at the moment.
yeah, no, that's fair. I think we're gonna base our predictions off the fact that Leinster have sent a weakened side and they are gonna play a weakened side here. So yeah, I think the Stormers have to get this done. I think they will get this done. It might be a bit tricky at times because we know this Leinster side, no matter who they send, is a well-oiled machine that know their role. Each player knows what their job is. There's no confusion as to where each player needs to be. Like Brett said in a previous episode, you can call them robots because they're programmed to know exactly what to do, which is always a great compliment. So yeah, but I do think the Stormers will. And I hope this happens because I want to see the Stormers firing with their creativity in the back line. You know, we want to see Damien Willemse, Marnie Lebok, and them linking up together. We just saw Dan Duplessis sign a new deal at the Stormers, which is great news. So you want to see all these players firing on all cylinders for the Stormers, and I think we'll get a sense of that. So I'm going to go Stormers to win this one by 10 or 11 points. And hopefully build some confidence going into the playoff side of this competition. Did you give a margin of
I'm
points
not
to
putting up margin on this one.
okay.
I'm staying out of it. I don't even want to talk about the Stormers. It actually scares me. I just feel like this whole season, after last weekend, I just sat back and thought a bit. And it's not a flip flopping opinion. like obviously I'm very cocky and very arrogant when it comes to the teams that I support in terms of the Springboks and the Stormers. But when I sat back and I really thought, I was like, oh, it's not been a good season for the Stormers. I mean, just think back a bit when we had our travels overseas. How many convincing performances have we really put out there? So yeah, this one scares me a bit. I don't. I fear that the Stormers are almost getting a bit stale in terms of some guys are getting too comfortable, and I want us to really make some risky decisions, because that's what it feels like this team needs. Like, it looks like there's a good bond and a good brotherhood, but we need more than that. It felt like there was a lack of passion last weekend, and if we can see some passion this weekend, I'll happily fall on my sword and die. Okay, but I mean, I just want to see a bit more. I just want to see some oomph. You know, when we played the previous 2 seasons, it was like, this is a passionate team, and now it looks like a team that's having fun, but not really caring for the result. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting off it. Almost too experimental, but I'll keep it at that.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's a tough path to go down, because you've seen what the Stormers are capable of in the past 2 seasons, and then you almost see, like, is it because the players are complacent? Is it because they're tired? Is it because they feel like they've done all that they have done, that they can do? So yeah, it is a tricky situation to be in, but I trust that these guys are professional enough to know that this is important. And obviously I think Rassie, and we'll just quickly touch on this topic. Rassie's a guy who will take chances and drop you if you aren't performing. So the trust is that these guys will be playing for a Springbok jersey, and as well give back to the fans, because the fans are what, at the end of the day, is that support you and get you through everything. So yeah, I think the
bring
Stormers.
something up, and I know it's not on topic of what we're talking about, but we talk about talked about the Stormers now, and obviously we've spoken so highly of Evan Roos the last couple of weeks. Like, the guy's been sensational. I think he's playing some of the best rugby we've seen him play. He's changed his game a bit from his first season, because obviously they didn't know how to defend him. They know now you can't give him that much space, but his game feels a lot more matured, and it's happened all in the middle of the season. And I saw on Twitter or X that someone commented that an underdog shout for the captaincy could be the likes of Evan Roos, that they literally almost breed into the captaincy of South Africa. And I know there is the likes of a Cameron Hanekom, there is the likes of Jasper Wiese. Would you be opposed to maybe seeing the likes of Evan Roos, literally someone young, talented, almost being breeded into a role like the captaincy? Because we've seen it a couple of times where someone who had shaky discipline gets almost the opportunity like captaincy to calm them down, and it works absolute wonders for them. Do you think that could be a case for Evan Roos?
You know what? I think what needs to happen, first of all, is I need to see some kind of leadership role within the Stormers. Just because, I think it is a massive.
He was the only guy that really showed passion against.
No, 100%. And I think he's leading by example, 1000%. I think he's the best Stormers player at the moment. I happily have him in the 8 jersey for the Boks. Obviously, I'm a massive Jasper Wiese fan, but I cannot deny anything that Evan Roos is showing this season. He's a guy that's showing he's fighting for the Stormers jersey. He's showing Rassie that he's matured. And the fact that he's matured so quickly and done it in such a short period of time shows me massive maturity, which I'm super stoked with. It's just a massive ask to ask someone to be a Springbok captain without even having captained a union, for that matter. So I think
but that's what I'm just saying. Like, some people feed off being thrown into the deep end.
Absolutely,
obviously there'll be a lot of. You'll still remember he's got the likes of a Dwayne Vermeulen, who's had how many caps and how many captaincy caps under the Springboks in that same role to help him. Obviously, Rassie's still going to be there. The likes of a Pieter Steef to support him with Siya Kolisi. The whole leadership group will be there to support him. It will probably be like he's the captain, but he's like a breeding captain where everyone else kind of helps breed him into what they want to become. That was just the interesting thing that I saw and wanted to get your input on. But we can move on to the teams abroad.
Yeah, but yeah, let's hope that look if that comes in the future. I mean, I'm definitely not opposed to it. But anyway, we move on to some interesting games here. To be fair, I think this first one we're going to chat about is I actually see it as an underdog win, but Ulster at home against Benetton. Now I don't know about you, but I have Ulster losing this game. I have Benetton winning, and I
Me
have
too.
them winning by about 10 points. I genuinely think Ulster
Exactly.
are.
Yeah.
I think Ulster are not good enough this season. Absolutely not good enough.
Scraped by Cardiff, and we'll give Cardiff props. We've said it a couple of times. Like they know how to keep a game close, but Ulster have not been at the races. Obviously, they gave the Stormers a tough game, but everyone gives the Stormers a tough game at the moment. But Benetton flying at the moment, really good form. I don't see this momentum stopping. Not against the likes of Ulster. I know it's away from home. Benetton's a lot stronger when they play at home, but the likes of you just see the aura of Menoncello and Brex, and that kind of boosts Benetton. Obviously, what's it, Umanga or whatever that plays there, and who's the fullback? Rhino,
Renner Smith, yeah.
yeah. Like obviously, those names have been. It feels like carrying Benetton in a beautiful direction. Like the way that they've played this whole season has been sensational. At one point they were fourth, and they were looking very comfortable, and then dropped. But now that the big names are back, um, they just look undeniable at this point. And they also know there's a lot to play for. They're carrying that Italian pride, so I don't see them losing against Ulster. I know Ulster's at home, but I'm going Benetton by 10 points. I
Yeah, I
can't
know.
see another way unless Ulster make it super scrappy.
Yeah, I mean, I have it the same. I just think Ulster. Obviously, we know Kitsoff, I think, has basically played his last game for Ulster. Obviously, we know he's on his way back to Cape Town. He's now currently in South Africa getting treatment for his injury at the moment. And I think
Yeah,
that's the last of Kitsoff in an Ulster jersey. But anyway,
thank
we move
goodness.
on to the. Sorry, what was that?
Thank goodness.
Yeah, I'm sure Ulster fans will also say, look, you wouldn't have a great stint there, but we'll defend our spicy plum, Stevie Kitsoff there. But look, next game, I think there's only one winner here. Zebre playing Glasgow Warriors, Zebre being at home. I think Glasgow Warriors have this one comfortably. I don't think it's a competition. What are your
Yeah, I
thoughts?
mean, it's tough to find other words to say about Zebra other than we had high expectations, and they just like after that Sharks win, we got some expectations. Is this finally the page that they're turning and really saying, okay, we out here to actually put together a couple of performances? No, didn't end up like that. Glasgow to smash them. I think Glasgow can send a weakened team. Obviously, Zebra might be a bit better since it's played at Parma or in Parma, but no, it's Glasgow all day.
Yeah, I completely agree on that one as well.
25 points.
Yeah, going to be a smashing in my opinion. But next up, we have a game that I'm actually struggling to call. But it's Cardiff versus Edinburgh. Cardiff being at home. Now, look, I understand Edinburgh have a good few international names in their side, but as we've seen, Cardiff are able to make it not dirty. Sorry, wrong word. I think make it tight. They can
Brett,
make.
Brett, Brevin, let me interrupt you there. I'm not finding it hard to call at all. I'm going
Yeah, what are you
Cardiff to get
saying?
the victory, upset
Wow.
victory. Yep.
Wow.
Cardiff has been pulling it tight with a lot of teams. They've caused the upset a couple of times this season. Edinburgh were 18-3 or something behind against the Scarlets. I know they came back and put together a solid second half performance, but Cardiff have I'll put respect on their game this season so far. I know they lost against Ulster. They deserve to win that game. And I'm going with them to that home ground advantage, backing a team that has been literally performing pretty well, even though they're not really in the races for anything. They've got nothing to lose. I'm going with Cardiff to get the victory.
Yeah, I think from a
Seven
Bulls
points.
perspective, yeah, I think from a Bulls perspective, I'd love it if Edinburgh don't win here. I think that will help us a lot, and help you guys as well. But I do unfortunately think they edged this one just. I don't think they're going to win it convincingly. I do think Edinburgh have enough talent in that team to go out there and win by about 5 to 6 points. Obviously, I could fall on my sword here and be wrong. But yeah, I just think Edinburgh have a little bit more to play for. It will be a bit more important to them. And yet again, Cardiff will make it a tight game, but I just think Edinburgh will win this one by 3 to 6 points, basically on penalties. I think there obviously will be tries as well, but I think just the boot will save Edinburgh there. And then last one, the Dragons take on Connacht. Dragons being at home.
Yeah.
I only see one
Thanks
winner
for
here
coming,
as well.
Dragons. Goodbye. Gone
Yeah.
off to win.
Agreed.
That's gone off. That's the wrap up. I mean, you can't expect anything else.
Yeah, no, I think Connacht will take that one, which again helps their cause to make it into the playoffs. But yeah, I think Connacht have that one quite comfortably. But ladies and gents, that is us for today. And yet again, thank you so much for watching this video. Please interact, send us your predictions in the comments. Please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Remember, we really, really, really want to reach our goal to at least 820, 830 subs by the end of this video. Well, if you have watched, please subscribe, get us to that goal. We are growing rapidly and we really appreciate the support. So yeah, that is it from Brevin, myself, and Casual Bias Rugby. We will see you guys in the next episode. Cheers.